You don't need to be jealous of other people's success, you can instead be inspired. I used to be that really jealous, toxic friend who would on the surface be happy for you, but inside it would be eating me up that something good had happened to you and it hadn't happened to me. This is not easy to admit, but if you feel like this is you and you've clicked on this video, welcome. We are going to talk about how you can stop being that jealous friend and how you can use that jealousy you feel for good. I have done this, so I know it is possible for you to do the same. I would be just making it about me, basically, thinking, why did that happen to them? My life is so hard. The thing about this point in my life was I was deeply unhappy. I was trapped in my addiction. Thankfully now I'm in recovery. I am over a year sober now, and I think that's part of the reason why I have been able to become a better person and a better friend. I felt at this point in my life like I was a prisoner to my circumstances. I was really deep in the victim mentality, and so I was unhappy when I saw other people living their best lives and having good things happen to them. If you are jealous of someone right now, or you find yourself constantly comparing yourself to other people and feeling jealous of them, guess what? Jealousy can be useful. Jealousy can be an indicator of what you want. So being jealous can actually give you a sense of direction. This is maybe something that you will only realize in hindsight. Certainly I at the time didn't realize that this was what was happening. I have had this YouTube channel for over 6 months now and I love it. It's been such a joy. I'm so glad I started it. But I remember like 2 years ago looking on Instagram, you know how you end up following people and you have no idea how? And I was watching this person's story and they had tens of thousands of followers. Their story was just them dancing and just being really joyful and encouraging other people to dance too. This made me so angry. And at the time I was like, why am I angry at this person just living their life? The thing is, I felt jealous and I felt resentful of the fact that they were able to be so free, be so joyful, because I didn't feel like that at all. I was coming towards the end of my active addiction, so things were very dark for me, and I resented the fact that there were people out there having fun. And if I had more presence of mind, and it's difficult when you're caught up in the moment because you might not realise what's happening, but looking back, I'm like, oh, I was jealous there. The reason I was angry was that I was annoyed that this person was brave enough to put themselves out there on social media and be like, hey guys. Now I do that and I make videos, but I wasn't brave enough to do that before. And so I resented the fact that they were. So if you find yourself jealous of someone or just angry at someone for like no reason, maybe you're jealous of something in their life. And this might be really obvious. You might be like, oh, they bought a car, or they have so much more money than me, or they seem to have better friends. But it might also be something small. If you can sit with that anger or that jealousy that you're feeling when it's not obvious where it's coming from, you can maybe identify what in that person's life is making you annoyed. And do you actually want that thing, but you're too scared to admit it to yourself yet? It's important, if you want to learn how to stop being jealous, to shift your mindset away from a scarcity mindset to more of an abundance mindset. One reason why you might be annoyed when you see someone else being carefree, being joyful, having all of these lovely things in their life that you want, is you might feel that them having it takes something away from you. You think that happiness is finite, or that there's only a certain amount of joy or money or experiences to go around, and if they have it, that means that you can't have it. This is not true at all, but it's a very easy pattern of thinking to fall into. So instead you can shift to a more abundance-based mindset where you see someone has something that you want and you don't have to be jealous of them. You can think, she has that, I would like that, I don't have that yet, but I can still be happy for her, and the fact that she has that doesn't mean that I can't have that, whether it's money or a nice flat, I don't know, a dog, a car. You can instead just see that you are on a different timeline. You don't have that thing yet, but you don't have to be resentful of someone else for having it, because you can eventually get there as well. I think a really crucial part, this has been just in general really helpful for me, but I think particularly with jealousy or resentment, is making a gratitude list. This has been one of the most life-changing habits that I've picked up in my recovery, and I'm so grateful that I was really heavily encouraged to do it. My friend in recovery got me this little book and was like, maybe do a gratitude list in this book, like just say. I didn't realise how much of a difference it would make. Get a little notebook. You probably already have, if you're anything like me, blank notebooks. Start doing a daily gratitude list, or do it on your phone. Think through it in your head. Start shifting into a more grateful mindset, because then you can't help but see the good in everything. And it's a really subtle change, but I promise you, if you do this consistently over a period of weeks, months, you will suddenly realize that your mindset has completely changed, because the world is your mirror. So if you are trying to find things to be grateful for, if you're trying to notice the small things so that you can appreciate them, so that you can then put them on your gratitude list, you will suddenly find more. There will be so much. You will suddenly find there's so much to be grateful for. Whereas if you're focusing on the fact that they have something that you don't, you're just going to see that lack everywhere. You're going to look everywhere and be like, they have a nicer relationship, they have a nice house, they live in this country, they got to go on this holiday, they get to do this with their free time, they have this opportunity, I don't have anything. It's so easy to get sucked into that mindset. Gratitude list, shifting your perspective, is going to be really helpful to overcome jealousy. The next thing is to act the way you want to feel. I did a whole video about this, which I will link for you up here if you want to check that out, because I go more in depth about acting the way you want to feel. But here, in terms of jealousy, what we're thinking about is be generous, be happy for someone, and really try and genuinely feel that happiness. Even if you're still wrestling with feelings of inadequacy or jealousy, stop trying to make it about you and how you react to things and how you're feeling about this wonderful opportunity they have. Don't make it about you. Start acting as if you are really happy for them. Buy someone flowers, send a card, send a postcard. On their anniversary, send them a card. Really get involved in your relationships. Try and be happy for them. One of my friends always says, if you want self-esteem, do esteemable things. If you want to feel good about yourself, if you want to feel good about your life, you need to do things that help you feel good. You need to do things that help other people. If you want to build your self-esteem, you need to do esteemable things. If you want to overcome jealousy, you need to take action. Another thing to bear in mind with overcoming jealousy is that what goes around comes around. For me, this isn't about, oh, I need to be a nice person because then nice things will happen to me, because that's still centering it on you. It's more about having a perspective of the ups and downs in life. This person who you're very jealous of at the moment, and you feel like all of these good things are happening for them. Yes, maybe they are just a really lucky person and they've not had to deal with any bad things in their life. These people exist, but most of the time, I'm sure you're aware of this, something might look amazing, but it's only if you have the whole story that you will see the nuance in it. Oh, look at them, they're celebrating this, they're so lucky. But then years later, you might be talking to that friend and they'll be like, well, you know, actually I was really struggling with my mental health at that point in time, or we'd had this big fight and we had to pretend that everything was okay. You don't have the full picture. And if you have more of an understanding of the fact that life is lots of ups and downs, you can really be happy for this person, because you know that invariably at some point there will be something bad happening. And I'm not saying this at all in a vindictive way. If something good is happening for someone, celebrate that. If you love them, there is so much rubbish stuff gonna happen for everybody. That wider view, that like zoomed out perspective of this up and down, it's all gonna change sort of mindset. This kind of perspective is also helpful because it reminds you that just because you are in a bad place right now, just because you are feeling jealous or resentful or down, like I was feeling unhappy with my life 2 years ago, just because you are in that position now, it doesn't mean you're always going to be that way. It gives you compassion for yourself, because you're like, yeah, it's bad right now, but I know that even if this is a bad period that's going on for a while, eventually things will change. Another point that I would make about jealousy is that if you have time to be jealous, obsess over the fact that you don't have what they have or you want what they have, if you have time to really get worked up about that and to feed your jealousy and just kind of sit in that feeling, if you have time to do that, then you have too much time, and you need to instead channel that energy that you're putting into being resentful or jealous of someone else, put that energy into bettering your own life. Once you are working on yourself and making progress, even if you're not there to like your perfect standard or where you want to be, even if you're not there, the fact that you're in the process of trying to get there, it will mean that there's so much less space for jealousy, because you just don't have the bandwidth to devote energy to being negative about someone else's achievements or their success. You can instead then be happy for them because you can see the work they've put in, and you don't have to obsess over the fact that they have it and you don't. If you're busy working on yourself and bettering yourself, you won't have room for jealousy. And through working on yourself as well, through all of that hard work, through the change that you're trying to implement, like me with my recovery, because I know how hard I work on that, I can see everyone else is working hard on different things as well. So then instead of thinking that everyone else is luckier than me, yeah, it may look like an overnight success, or it may look like they have everything together, but I know that underneath there will have been so much hard work that went into that. And so it's not that you have to earn anything or that you have to be deserving of a certain thing. Once you are trying to make your life better, instead of sitting in your resentment or your jealousy or your unhappiness like I used to be, then you will be able to celebrate other people and be happy for them as opposed to being jealous. You don't need to be jealous of other people's success. You can instead be inspired and be happy for them. I used to be that jealous person. I used to be that toxic jealous girl, and I'm not anymore. So it's possible for you to change as well. I will leave my video Act the Way You Want to Feel on the screen, which I mentioned, and I will also leave my video about gratitude journaling. That has been such a transformative thing that I've been doing, and I really want everyone to start doing that. So please check out either of those videos if you would like. Subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I will see you in the next one.